Hey, this week on the Stonebergs, we have a fun episode for you. Katie and I discuss our less than stellar mushroom trip. We continue our Halloween festivities with a couple of horror movie reviews. We get to some phone calls, and we got some nice word of mouth this week. And Katie digs deep into the topic of Gelatology, which is the study of laughter. So it's going to be a fun one. Thanks for joining us on the Stonebergs podcast on YouTube.
Podcasting from their dining room table in
Way-ho.
California, it's the Stonebergs with Dave Stone and Katie Strandberg. Get it? Advice and encouragement from two goofballs who can barely run their own lives. Call now at 562-548-2012 to be a part of the show. Now welcome, the Stonebergs.
All right.
Hey there.
Welcome us.
Welcome us, everybody. Hello.
Welcome the Stonebergs.
Oh, it's a joy.
Welcome the hell out of us.
Welcome.
What's going on, Boo?
Boo, I'm lovely.
How about you?
Oh, I'm just having a dreamy day.
What's going on?
Well, I'm a little hungover
Yeah.
from not alcohol.
Oh, boy. I know where this is going.
Okay, mushroom gummies, everybody. They're for sale, like at places.
At places.
Like smoke shops. Places where you could buy cigarettes. And by the way, ladies, if you need some decor, great little like coasters at smoke shops. I don't know what they're for, but they're really good coasters.
That's pretty
They're
cool.
cheap.
That's pretty good.
And good lighters there, too. And always a lovely person.
Yeah, I guess that's a thing now. In certain states, mushrooms have been decriminalized.
Yes.
I did not realize California was one of those states.
Yeah.
And you picked up some gummies at not even our normal dispensary. You picked them up at a smoke shop.
Yes.
See, I'm no disrespect to smoke shops, but I'm always leery of anything that you might put in your body from a smoke shop. Smoke shops are good, buy you a nice little piece, buy some rolling papers, maybe a vape. But, that just, it feels like the stupid little caffeine pills or whatever that you buy at the gas station right there at the counter.
Oh, my
gosh. The yellow jackets and the whatever.
You mean Hydroxycut? Did you
All
ever
that.
take Hydroxycut?
Yeah, I messed around with some of that back in the day. Ooh, I hated that.
My sisters devoured it.
Made me so nervous.
Oh, it was the best diet pill ever.
Yeah.
It made you want to throw up. Well, a lot of times I would throw up. I was like 12 when I took it, which is wrong. Wrong.
Your curtain's bothering me behind
Is it?
you
Oh, I'm
there.
sorry.
You're,
Okay.
You're
My vibe.
You're making it askew.
Okay.
It's all right. Leaning up on it too much. That's
Okay.
all right.
Is this better?
It's my OCD kicking in.
No,
Yeah,
I like the
that's
OCD.
good.
It's
That's good.
fun. It's flirty. We got a lot of blanket work.
But yeah, you were like, hey, I got some mushroom gummies. And my joke about mushrooms is don't do mushrooms out of boredom. Put it on the calendar, make a day of it. And we did the exact opposite. We did impulse shrooms. And it just wasn't fun.
Well, you're supposed to microdose, and it's supposed to make you feel happy.
Well, we did take the microdose according to the package. We took a half a gummy.
Yeah.
They said that was for beginners. A whole gummy was for advanced.
Yeah.
Like it's a course you take.
Yeah.
And
then one gummy is like just the biggest, or two gummies, it said advanced.
I thought one gummy was advanced. Well, we took half a gummy each. And it didn't put me on the moon. I've done shrooms before, and I've had a good time. But this was, I think part of it was, I don't know what's going on with the actual product. And B, we broke my rule about not doing them out of boredom. We didn't plan anything out. Like, typically when you do shrooms, you want to, it might sound cliche, but you want to be in nature.
Yeah.
You want to be in an environment that is visually and emotionally stimulating.
Well, this is a stimulating emotional environment.
Yes, but I was just watching football all day.
Yeah, but that's fun.
No, it is fun.
And stimulating.
I just don't know if those worlds complement each other.
That's fair.
Shrooms and football.
Well,
And,
I just got real sick.
Yeah, well, you've never done actual shrooms.
Never,
right?
no.
So shrooms are poisonous. And I mean, there's no other way to say it. So every time I've done shrooms, the first hour, you do feel a little sickly, a little nauseous, a little icky.
Yeah.
And then that wears off, and then the fun kicks in.
Right.
But this just felt all day. Just felt like I was 10 minutes away from throwing up.
Yeah.
So.
It wasn't a fun experience as much as informative.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this makes us ill. I literally took our Sunday fun day and made us ill.
Yeah.
I was like, this will be fun.
Yeah. I know it's not all. I could have said no.
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, why not? I knew I wasn't doing anything. I was like, well, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have any shows. I don't have any obligations. Sure, I'll take half of a mushroom gummy, and it just, I don't know.
I know.
Maybe we got to stick to the real deal.
Yeah, let's stick to the real deal. I've never done it, and I'm nervous about it. And now this experience didn't really set me up for success.
Well, you live and learn.
Yeah.
You live and learn. Other than that, how you been?
Boo, I'm lovely.
Yeah, what's going on? Anything exciting this week?
Of course.
Yeah, what'd you get into?
Well, I'd like to share that I'm back at Barry's boot camp.
Yeah, you went to Barry's this week? How'd that work out?
It wasn't great. Much like the mushrooms, it hurt.
I thought we were going to have to admit you to the hospital.
Okay, I forget. My sense of time is weird, correct? So I thought, I was like, oh, I'm still in shape from Barry's like 4 years ago. Because it's muscle memory, right? So, you know, it was different. And I knew the instructor. His name is Donald. He will make your butt tight in one class. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot. And I wanted to, okay, so Donald I've known for over 7 years now.
Really?
Yeah, because when I went to Barry's boot camp, my journey began. He was just starting as an instructor, and now he like runs it. It's great. But I wanted to like impress him.
Yeah.
And I don't have a crush on Donald.
How so? How would you impress him? By just your
by
performance?
working harder. Yeah, like you want, and it was a small class, so that's the worst, because then the instructor can definitely like zero in on form and how fast you go on the treadmill. But Donald, who is a lovely gay man and married to a dancer.
Yeah.
A dancer. A male dancer. Not like anyway.
Like a Broadway dancer?
Yes.
Or a nightclub dancer?
That's true. There's difference. Broadway.
Nightclub dancer. What am I 85 years old?
The lounge.
This young
night lounge.
This young man dance in nightclubs.
But yeah, I just wanted, and he kept saying over the speaker, like, come on, Katie.
Oh, he was singling you out.
And I was like, okay, in my stride. And I just kept looking in the mirror, and I would look myself in the eye, and I just would say, like, you have to do this.
So walk me through, what's a typical class at Barry's? What did you do the other day? Is it an hour long?
It's 55 minutes.
Okay.
And it is
Boy,
high.
that's a long time.
It's so long. Oof. It's the longest hour. That was the other thing, going back to the mushrooms, time stood still. I couldn't believe it was like 2 o'clock for like 8 hours, it felt like. It was awful.
That's how they get you.
I want time to go faster. I don't know. Anyway, back to Barry's. Okay, so you come in, you do a quick warm-up, which is usually, you know, jumping jacks or like a, you know, plank jack. A lot of jack work.
Plank jack?
Yeah, have you ever done a plank jack?
No. Is it what it sounds like?
Yeah.
In a plank position, you got to jump up and catch yourself?
No. I'm sorry. It's in a plank position, you only move your legs. So you only jack your legs out.
Okay.
So it's more of a Y jack plank?
I don't follow, but that's all right.
I don't either.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, so then you do the treadmill. It's half treadmill, half floor work.
Okay.
The treadmill was it was called switches. This workout was called switches, which is when you go up a hill and then you sprint up the hill and then you go down the hill. But these treadmills are terrifying because you could go up all the way to like 15, which is like, you know, almost straight up. I was trying to think of a rock climbing movie.
Well, no, straight up would be 180.
Oh, right.
But that's all right.
Anyway, so it was a lot of switch work. Then we did so much. There were jackknives, there was abs, bicycles, rubber bands everywhere. It was it was all a blur. And they took the clock out.
What'd they do that for?
I know. I used to look at the clock and be like, okay, only this much longer.
Yeah.
but I think they took it out on purpose.
No, I like that. That's a good. I used to do that when I would run. I'd go to Silver Lake and run those stairs. Well, walk the stairs. Right there near the reservoir.
Mhm.
There's like, I think I did the math one time. I think it's the equivalent of like a 10-story jaunt up the
wow.
stairs. But I would do the thing where I refused to look up. I would always just look down so I couldn't see how much further I had to go. I always
That's
wanted to be
smart.
surprised when I got to the top.
Did it work?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was tough. So then I also walked there and walked back, which it's only a half a mile, but after you do a rigorous boot camp class, the last thing you want to do is go up a hill.
Yeah, coming back, it's all
home.
uphill.
Yeah, so
That's rough.
it was tough. But I know I'm going to get back into it, you
Yeah.
know? I got to, you got to get the endorphins going.
How many people were in the class, roughly?
Like 10.
Were you the worst performer?
Such a good question. Well, I almost kicked someone behind me because you have like little spots on the floor,
Mm-hmm.
and my legs are so big, so I'm doing a one of those kicks. What's it? Anyway, doesn't matter. But I almost hit the guy behind me. And that was scary, and I had to apologize.
Yeah.
Then I did spill an energy drink, which is a no-no. Then there was just a few things.
spilled
It's
a
hard
drink.
for me to find my foot. I need a space.
Yeah, you need a lot of space.
You
You need elbow room.
need an aircraft carrier.
You're so clumsy.
I'm the clumsiest.
So yeah, I could imagine you in tight quarters, just kicking people, knocking shit over.
It's so hard. Oh, at one point because I have a huge water bottle, and in a treadmill, I don't know if you've seen this feature, they have cup holders, right? So I put this giant thing in the cup holder. I'm exiting the treadmill, and the cup holder comes with me. I ruined equipment,
Yeah.
is what I did.
Yeah. Are you allowed back?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't
I
get
hope so.
Banned or anything?
Well, now I'll just go to a different instructor.
And then I've never seen you this sore, this affected by a workout all week. Your whole week was shot due to this one workout.
It was.
You're like, so?
I mean, I don't know what to say. What am I supposed to do now?
I feel like you don't, I never see you stretch.
I stretch all the time, and it annoys that
I never
it
see
hurts
you
my
stretch.
feelings. Sorry, I'm going to go ahead and do my stuff.
Yeah.
It hurts my feelings when you say I don't stretch, because I stretch all the time. You just don't see me. Look, I'm stretching right now for the audio peeps. That was a good stretch.
That's pretty good. Okay.
I stretch in the shower a lot.
Really? I don't think you should be doing that.
Oh,
The shower's challenging enough for you.
I was going to ask you if you are okay with a shower chair.
What?
I like sitting.
Isn't that for people who can't stand?
I think it's an option for people and I'm not making fun of people that can't stand at all. I'm saying for me, it's fun to have a step so I can shave my legs,
Okay.
get into different areas. I would also like to suggest, yeah, you're right. I don't stretch as often as I should. Okay. But stretching hurts.
I love to stretch. I'm very flexible for a big guy.
You are. You should be a ballet dancer.
I should.
No, I swear, you're
been
very
thinking about
light on
that.
your feet. You scare me a lot. You'll creep up on me, and
I
I'm
do.
like, what?
Creep up on you.
Yeah.
It is funny. Like our downstairs neighbor, like you stomp around like a rhinoceros, and I'm light on my feet, and I guarantee she just thinks, fat ass Dave's up there clomping
And I also
around.
burp and fart
Oh my God, boo.
like a
You've
stupid
been-
horse.
The windows have all been open.
Well, that's on you, because I like air conditioning.
You've been cranking so many burps lately.
I
that
wanted to talk to you about
People
this.
across the street can hear them.
I don't think that's true.
I know it's true because when the windows are open and I'm sitting here, I can hear people have normal conversations across the street, across and up. Like seriously, there could be people 50 yards away.
You have
and
good hearing.
I don't have good hearing, and I can hear them, and they're
Okay.
speaking at a normal volume. So when you rip just a Richter scale level burp with the windows open, here's the whole point.
Yeah.
people see me come out of the apartment, they're like, "Oh, that's the guy who burped. That's clearly the guy who's stomping around
That's
like a
not true.
Clydesdale." Of course, if you saw the two of us,
You're put together.
You'd be
I'm
like,
not.
"That guy's burping and he's stomping around," and I'm like, "It's actually my wife." But oh well.
No, you're very clean and groomed well, and you're always dressed, like go outside. I go out looking like a character in a play.
Yes,
like,
but I also I know what I look. I'm a walking burp. I know I look like just a belch personified. But the irony is, like, neighbors, I promise it wasn't me. It's my wife.
I think they figured it out because I start cackling after the burp because I think it's so funny. But you're right. And I'm sorry because as we are married, I don't know if you know that. And also that means we live together.
Yeah.
And so as a roommate, I'm kind of sucking lately.
Yeah.
And I wanted to apologize
That's all right.
because I don't know what's going on. I think it was the soreness for sure. And then straight up laziness. But I'm trying to pick up my pace. As a roommate, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I?
I mean, in regards to what?
Just life, like living with me.
I just the burping. I just don't
It's the
understand.
burping and the
You
farting.
burp like a frat boy, like who's trying to win a contest. We all burp, but you lean into it. You're belting it to the back row.
Well,
like
I want to
you're
get it all
proud.
out.
Well, that's great for everybody around you.
You're right. But I've been better with the muffling. Oh, shoot. I forgot to do the timer.
Ah, shit.
Okay, hold on. Let's go into stuff. Okay. Timer. Sorry about that. Nope. We're at 5 minutes. Let's do 5.
We're good.
No, okay. Listen, I suck as a roommate. I do have bodily functions that I need to work on. I would like to remind you, though, that I grew up on a hill.
Yeah.
I was on a 45-acre ranch, which isn't fun. It sounds fun. It was different. But I got to burp and be free. I got to be loud. I would play with my imaginary friend Bird outside.
Who was Bird?
Bird was my imaginary friend's name.
Was it an imaginary bird?
No, it was a person. Her name was Bird.
Why'd you name her Bird?
Because my mom used to say that farts were birds, and I thought it was really funny, so I called her Bird.
It's all starting to fall into place now. Starting to figure it out. Oh, boy.
Well, you bought the cow.
That's right.
So here I am. Hello. Boo, we're into, I'd like to share that I have been watching not all Bravo television because we've been on our Halloween kick.
We started Halloween early this year.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Like I said last week, I think the entire month of September and October should be Halloween season.
I agree.
I'm no longer waiting till October.
Don't.
Let's get into it.
Let's do
Been
it.
watching a lot of movies lately.
Yeah.
Watched some good ones this week. I think we kicked it off. What was the first? Did we watch one last week? Did we talk about that? Yeah, we watched
Nope, The Boogeyman.
The Boogeyman.
The
We kicked it off
Boogeyman.
with that.
That you have to buy, not rent.
This week we got into the old classic, The Shining. That one never gets old. I've probably seen that movie 30 times at
I
this
could
point.
watch it again today.
Such a good movie. We did The Shining. We did The Descent. I think I had seen that one years ago, and I'd forgotten how good it was.
That was terrifying. Let's break it down.
Who in their right mind would want to go spelunking? I don't understand
Okay,
that
explain
at all.
splunking to people because I didn't know it either.
Cave exploring.
Ugh.
Let's go into the bowels of the earth and root around in places we're not supposed to be.
Not interested.
I never thought I was claustrophobic, but I guess I have. I would assume everybody's got a little bit of claustrophobia, but just, okay, going into like in some of the, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's some scenes when they first get down into the cave where there's these huge openings of these caves, you know.
And that's nice.
50 feet tall, you know, the ceiling. And then, but even that, like going deep, even if you had plenty of space, going deep into a cave, you know, hundreds of yards or even miles,
Yeah.
that would be scary. Even if you had plenty of space and room, just going into the unexplored depths of a cave.
Yeah.
But then there were parts where they literally had to like belly crawl, where the little gaps and
The tunnels.
holes,
The tunnels. Oh.
were barely bigger than their body. Oh my! And plus, to think about, there was one scene where they're like army crawling on their belly because they had very little space. But to think about being in that position, but then to factor in the fact that they were probably a mile or two into the cave. So like
You're in a tunnel in the cave.
like I don't like going into I used to go into crawl spaces at homes when I was a teenager doing heating and air. And even just a normal size home crawling up in that crawl space was a little unnerving. But just knowing, even then, you knew that, okay, if I just put it in reverse for 20 feet, I'm back to daylight.
Yeah.
But to be crawling into a tunnel of a cave and also be a mile or two or however far we are into it, that movie like really got to me, like as far as the claustrophobia.
You usually can't do movies, I know, with like Blair Witch, like the shaky.
Yeah, the shaky
that
cam.
makes you sick.
Yeah, I get nauseous. I
Yeah.
get with all that shaky cam stuff, and there wasn't too much of that in this, but just.
But
the,
now
the
I know
sheer claustrophobia.
your scary secret.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's, hey, if you can go down into a hole with a ladder, let's get a long, long ladder. Let's get a fireman ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. I know the ladder's there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go back to the ladder.
Or better yet, have the gear. You can rappel down. Able to climb back.
I don't trust the gear.
Yeah.
I need a ladder, and I need it cemented at the top.
Okay.
So it's safe,
Mm-hmm.
and I need it cemented at the bottom. And that length, whatever the fireman ladder length is, that's where I'll go.
That's as far as you'll go.
Yeah.
Have you ever been into a cave?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you?
I don't think so.
You've never been into a cave?
I mean, not of any consequence.
In Georgia, we don't have caves.
We don't have caves where I'm from.
We just have dirt holes.
We just have a trash pit.
No, I don't know if I've rooted around in a cave. But then the whole point of that movie is not just the claustrophobia of going into these caves, but then I don't want to ruin it, even though I don't know if there's spoilers
it's
for
old.
a 20-year-old movie, but they run across some creatures.
Okay, we have to talk about the creatures, though.
Ooh.
I mean, spoiler alert, everybody. But
I do
dear
love,
God.
we were talking last week about how I like the movie The Hills Have Eyes. So I like any movie where there's some sort of mutant humanoid.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, the mountains and the ocean, terrifying. Because there's so much that we don't know.
Oh, for sure.
And we don't know anything about life either. I'm learning as I get older. I know nothing. So it's fun. But I think the hidden tunnels and stuff, hey, humans aren't supposed to go in there. It's getting smaller and smaller. Want to know why? Because it's supposed to have an animal. An animal's in there, or a small little thing, a creature. But yeah, the creatures they come across are the most terrifying things. I mean, the people that did the special effects, what would you call those creatures?
Like mole people, cave people.
Do you think there are cave people?
There could be.
How do they survive? Bats? A lot of bat protein?
Yeah, bats and bugs and what have you. We were doing an episode of Boogie Monster a while back where about lizard people and humanoid reptilians, not humanoids. But there was a story from Vietnam where this platoon, I think they were Marines, ran across some like cave dwelling 6-foot tall lizard people.
No.
Yeah, that shit's so creepy.
So that's a Hollywood trope, I think, that I'm noticing, which is terrifying when it's a half human, half animalistic, like they move as an animal, which is terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
But also inspiring because I feel like I would be a good animal.
Yeah. Well, you are. You do remind me of an ostrich or a wild turkey. I always say, like, if a wild turkey got in here and started running around, that's kind of the vibe you have. Just
Are there half animal?
knocking shit over.
I love how I'm ignoring that because it's so true. It hurts my feelings. No, I'm not graceful. That's for sure.
No.
I should have been put in ballet at a young age and etiquette school. I think I'm going to do that now.
Yeah.
In my next 40 years, I was actually looking up butler school the other day because I want to host better.
You're going to get your butler certificate?
I want to be like, oh, hello, can I get you a beverage? Oh, let me get my silver tray and learn how to make things that are really nice and pretty. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting excited about life.
Yeah, as you tend to do. That's all right.
But anyway, the half animal thing, I want to finish this.
Okay.
It's like parkour. It's like watching people do parkour, but at a scary, angry, awful life or death tone.
Mm-hmm.
Can I be one of those people?
You think you'd be good at parkour? I'd like to see, there should be like a fat guy parkour. Yeah, that just cracks me up, the concept of fat parkour, like a bunch of dudes my size, but like taking it seriously. But the course is like obviously very rudimentary, just really basic, simple stuff. It's like kind of like when I watched wrestling in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, if you watch pro wrestling, which I still don't understand grown men's obsession with it, but now like the guys are incredible athletes, and the gals, there's women too. But, you know, they're jumping off the top rope and doing backflips. But in the 80s, like, they would get on the second middle turnbuckle and just jump, like 2 feet, drop an elbow. But
like
yeah,
a little
just
step stool.
Mm-hmm.
It would just
just low risk maneuvers off the middle turnbuckle. But yeah, just imagine like guys just running, like little gaps about 2 feet, you know.
Yeah.
Or climbing up something.
They jump over a brick.
Yeah. They climb up and then give up halfway and climb back down, wipe their brow.
I love that
go running,
so much.
You know, shoulder roll off of something.
I actually think you would be amazing at parkour.
Yeah.
You are light on your feet. Mm-hmm. You are so strong. Mm-hmm. You'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you practice? Like, do you go to a skate park and just kind of run up and down the thing?
That's a great question. How do you practice parkour? I'm sure there's places like gyms, like the equivalent of like an indoor rock climbing gym.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's parkour gyms, right?
I'm sure.
Where there's a lot of foam and ball pits for safety.
Remember yesterday when you said you wanted to throw me in a ball pit?
Yeah, I do. I want to throw you in sometimes I just want to, I don't want to hurt you, but like if I had like a well, like an old well, and then we filled it with like foam balls and stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to visualize you falling into a well, but not hurting yourself.
Right.
And then just stay down there for a while. Give me a break, you know?
I understand.
No, that was me. No, I don't need a break.
That pierced my heart.
Yeah,
that's fine. No, I'm here a lot. Anyway, time's about to be up.
Anyway,
and hey,
let's all push Katie into a pit.
Honestly, the wells are wild. I will say that.
What does that mean?
Wells are just wild, aren't they?
What do you mean?
They're just so deep and weird.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like The Descendant, but like in a controlled form.
The
and it's like
Descent.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
And
The Descendant's a different movie.
Who's that?
Is that George Clooney?
Oh, yeah, he's in Hawaii.
Uh-huh.
They love making movies in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Let's just go vacation and call it a film. Anyway, it's dumb.
Yeah. Did you guys have a well
We
on your
did.
ranch? Yeah, we had one too.
We had a well.
Yeah.
Did you ever go down
No,
into
no.
the well?
It wasn't open.
Oh.
But I was there when they drilled it because we built our house when I was like 12. We moved
cool.
and bought some land and built a little house. But I remember being fascinated by the big well drilling rig. It's pretty cool.
Do you think witches and wells go together? I feel like they do.
How so?
Maybe it's just the W. Maybe it's just the W.
Yeah, that's
All
probably
right,
it.
let's go ahead.
Great connection there,
Let's
boo.
get some calls.
Speaking
shall
of
we?
which, that's another movie we watched. We watched The Witch. It was good. I liked it. It was a period piece, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It was a slow burn.
Real slow.
Every time I watch a period piece, I can't help but think how bad everybody must smell.
Yeah, it's so dirty.
Yeah.
You would think with all the running water, though, they'd be cleaner.
What running water?
Like everyone's always near a stream or something.
Well, that's not necessarily running water. When I think of running water, I think of plumbing.
Oh, right.
And I feel like the lack of that probably contributes. We'll figure it out.
We're just
We'll figure it out.
It's going to be all right.
Let's take some calls, shall we?
Okay, yes.
562-548-2012.
In that order.
Yeah, that's the numbers. You got to put them in that order. If you mix up the order, you're going to get somebody else, and we cannot help you. So give us a call. Let us know what's on your mind.
Hey, Katie and Dave, Captain Forever here. Just wanted to give you a little heads up. Be real careful with that essential oil diffuser. You might want to talk to your vet about that before you use it. A lot of essential oils are toxic to cats. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Love the show. Thanks so much for doing it. Take care.
Captain Forever. Now, that's a handle.
I love that handle.
Captain Forever.
Captain Forever, CF. What
If that's
up?
self-applied or his friends gave him that name?
No, it's his God-given name.
Captain
First name
Forever.
Captain, last name Forever.
It's
Obviously.
immortal. Yeah, I wonder if he knows Maverick. Captain Forever, he sounded like a jolly fella.
He sounds so kind, and also, oh my God, I did not know that.
We knew that. We knew about tea tree oil. I had heard somewhere that wasn't good for cats. But that's a great reminder, Captain Forever, because this week we had an incident, a minor incident with Charlie.
Charlie's a delicate flower.
Charlie's one of his eyes kind of got all closed up.
Yeah.
And we couldn't figure out what it was. And I was like, it must be this new diffuser because we had lavender in there. Remember, because for some context, last week we talked about how you got a new diffuser and you put lavender soap in lieu of lavender essential oil. And you thought that would work the same. But we eventually got around to putting the actual lavender oil in there. And like an hour later, Charlie just had like one eye was almost completely shut. Like he got popped in the eye. He
was having a tough time.
Yeah. And I wonder, I assume, and then we shut it down. And then a few hours later, his eye got better.
Yeah. So diffusing, not for us.
Yeah.
Candles, it is.
Candles, incense.
What about air wick? That's when you plug in stuff, make it smell pretty. That works.
All that artificial stuff, though.
Oh,
it just reminds me of somebody covering up a fart.
I don't mind that smell.
You know, just the cheap air freshener shit. It just, every time I smell that, I'm like, all right, somebody just cranked one.
Yeah.
You know, I like more of a natural.
What do you mean?
You know,
I use perfume sometimes to cover my smell.
Yeah.
To cover my tracks.
How about that? Aren't you a delicate little
That's
flower?
Expensive air freshener.
Yeah.
You know what? Did you ever get into the potpourri game?
I like a potpourri.
I don't know.
It's all right. Yeah, my mom used to have potpourri. She'd have like the little pot, little warmer thing, and just be.
It would warm it up.
And tree bark and shit.
Yeah, it's
rose
always
petals.
You know, one time I ate one of those. I thought it was a snack.
Yeah.
I was little.
That's all right.
Like 15.
I used to eat bacon grease.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. I would
by the jar? Or
yeah,
what?
I would just like get a spoonful of it thinking it was pudding or jello or something.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, it was rough.
You're gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite foul.
Well, thank you, Captain Forever.
Thanks, Captain Forever. You keep up the good work. Thanks for that tip. And yeah, I think he's absolutely right because it did not agree with old Charlie's eyeball.
Oh, Charlie is looking at us.
Let's grab another one real quick. What do we got?
Hey, Stonebergs. My name is Maud Jones, or at least that is the name that I've been writing under. I several months ago decided to pursue a lifelong dream of becoming a writer, in part due to advice and encouragement from you guys. And recently, I've self-published a journal of writing prompts called Morning Pages, MOURN, Morning Pages. It's a play on something you guys talked about in the last episode where you wake up and do brain dumps, and those are usually called morning, like good morning pages. Well, mine are morning pages, and it is a collection of writing prompts for people that are, you know, spooky, a little macabre, a little morose, most of them being fictional situations about cannibals and werewolves and cryptids and other fun things like that. And I'm calling because I'm trying to get together a little side hustle of selling these, and it's going kind of slow. So I was hoping that you guys could shout it out on the show. You don't even necessarily need to play this call because I'm pretty sure I sound very nervous. But it's available on, it's available on Amazon. Again, Morning Pages, MOURNING. Or if people don't want to buy it, they can just follow my Instagram that I have for the book, Maud's Morning Pages, MAUDES, MOURNING, Maud's Morning Pages. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Dave, I have listened to you since the beginning of Boogie Monster. Katie, I absolutely adore you. And your advice and encouragement is working for somebody somewhere, namely me. So if you're able to shout that out, it would be a huge help. Sorry this was so long. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Ma.
So, Ma Joan.
Hi. Oh, my gosh, that's amazing. She's a writer.
Morning Pages.
MOURNING. I am on Amazon right now, writing prompts and malignant journaling for macabre souls.
Macabre.
Macabre.
Or macabre.
That's how it's spelled, though.
I know. That's
So
funny with English language sometimes.
it's hard.
It doesn't line
But
up.
it's for horror fans, artists, teachers, and other macabre types.
There you go.
Okay, enjoy 50 bizarre and original prompts. That's awesome for your own morbid creations. This is fun.
I like that.
Unusual and gory imagination writing prompts. Intuit, mod. Awesome.
Weren't we talking about that recently?
Yes.
Artist Way and
Yeah.
what do you call it? The something pages?
The morning pages,
Morning
but it's
page, okay.
MORNING.
Yeah, so
this
she's
is
a
a
play off of that.
This would be a pun.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
I learned about puns this week.
Did you learn about puns this week?
I did. But oh my gosh, and I'm so glad. Good for you. Self-published. It's on paperback. You guys.
That sounds like a great idea.
It is so awesome.
Thanks
Good
for checking
job.
in,
Thank
Maud.
you. Yes, I'm into it.
What was the Instagram again? Maud's morning pages?
Yes.
There you go.
And then it's morning MOURNING
Mm-hmm.
pages. So get on Amazon, guys. Get it today.
That seems like right up your alley.
Oh, I know. I love it. Well, and it's nice because it's a different thing
Mm-hmm.
from, I like writing prompts that kind of just take you out of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is fun. Fantasy. I've never been into fantasy,
Yeah.
like vampires and stuff, but I'm slowly getting into the fantasy world.
You never watched any fantasy movies growing up?
No.
You never watched anything like that? You never watched, what's the one I liked when I was a
Never-Ending
kid?
Story?
Never-Ending Story.
No.
Princess Bride.
No.
Labyrinth.
No.
Legend.
Nope.
None of that. What's the one with the other one I liked? Dark Crystal.
Mm-mm.
Willow.
Nope.
None of that.
No.
Boy.
Do
okay.
not care.
Hmm.
I was watching things like Die Hard
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 with my dad.
Oh.
A lot of dad movies. But then, did you ever see Drop Dead Fred? That was one of my favorites.
No, I never saw that one.
Okay, well, it was about imaginary friends.
I always get that confused with Right Said Fred.
Who's that?
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Oh.
Those fucking goobers.
I like that.
It's really bad stuff.
That's
there.
a good little song. That's a jock jam. Would that be a jock jam?
It's
Anyway.
something.
All right.
So, yeah, thank you, Ma Joan. Thank you, Captain Forever.
Oh my
Checking in,
gosh, thank you.
562-548-2012. That's the number. Give us a call anytime.
Give us a call.
We're here for you.
Yes.
We're here. We're here to give advice. We're here to receive advice.
I love receiving.
We're here to give encouragement. We're here to receive encouragement. Boo, do we got a topic this week?
We do.
You fucking goober. Can confirm. What are we talking about this week?
We're talking about gelotology.
Is this the study of Jello?
No.
Uh-huh.
It's the study of laughter.
Study of laughter.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, this should be something you're into.
I like to laugh.
Well, you're good at making people laugh.
Well, thank you.
Okay. So, okay, guys, study of laughter is like a thing because there is these little neurons in our head.
How do you spell gelatology?
Gelotology. So it's like gel, like hair gel.
No, just spell it for me.
Oh.
That's why I asked you to spell it.
God, you know what?
No, just is it
I'm
a G, a
sensitive
J?
today.
What are we doing?
Okay, it's a G as in giraffe, E as in elephant, L as in lion, O as in October.
You don't have to phonetically spell it out. I was just basically asking
Okay.
if it starts with a G or
Let's
J.
start over. Let's go ahead and strike it.
How do
Okay.
you spell gelatology?
GELOTOLOGY.
All right. Now I understand. So gelatology is the
this
study
is
of
a
laughter?
Study of laughter. Yes.
Okay.
See how right now we're laughing.
Mhm. Charlie, you all right over there,
It's
bud?
from my core, and it's taking me out of my head about gelotology.
Okay.
So this is exciting news.
Uh-huh.
So basically, did you know that according? Okay, I will say, guys, before why are you laughing?
I'm laughing because you're holding your mic like a Southern gospel singer. If you ever watch old Southern gospel singers, they hold it with their fingers and not their fist. You know, they're praising the Lord and singing about
I like
heaven's
it.
reward and whatnot.
And I'm putting the
Yeah.
pinky up too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead. I'll shut up.
All right, I'll hold it manly. According to Kant, there's a guy named Kant.
Uh-huh.
Kant. Anyway. Okay, there are 3 things given to a man to defend diversities of life. Do you know what those are?
No.
Hope, sleep, and laughter.
Okay. Defend diversities of life. What does that mean?
You know, like, okay, can I just sidebar? Researching is hard for me, and I'm noticing the challenges of researching because I get excited about a topic like gelatology, and then I'm like, cool, and then it's like this super hard topic, but it's not really hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of just laughing, but then I get nervous.
That's all. There's nothing to be nervous about.
Okay, thank you.
It's a safe space, boo.
Is it? Are we sure? All right. Anyway, so it's a study of laughter. This happened in the early 60s.
Now, who's Kant?
He's a famous psychotherapist.
Okay.
And also,
What's his first name?
I don't know. It just says Kant.
How
on
do you
this
spell his
page.
last name?
K as in kangaroo, A as in apple, N as in nitrous oxide, and T as in tuberculosis. It's always tuberculosis for me. So Kant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay. What are you laughing at? I'm trying to present.
Your phonetic alphabet's hilarious.
What's your phonetic alphabet?
Well, there is a phonetic alphabet. Like when I was a cop, we'd have to speak in the phonetic alphabet when we're running a license plate or something.
Oh, okay. Like,
Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, so on and so on.
okay.
But I don't think T was tuberculosis, but it serves the same purpose. I know
does.
there's nothing that rhymes with tuberculosis. So if you said that, I would be like, oh, she means T.
Yeah.
So good for you. All right.
Thank you. I love tea. Who
F,
doesn't?
F was Foxtrot. I always thought that was weird.
That is weird.
Like Foxtrot, that's what we're going with.
Foxtrot.
I mean, there's a lot of other Fs.
What would you have gone with?
Friend.
Oh, friend. That's cute.
Farm.
Farm.
Flower.
But
F
they
is in
wanted a 2-syllable, I think.
Why?
Foxtrot.
Why?
Charlie. Is there another 2-syllable one?
I mean, I'm sure there's some.
Alpha. Bravo.
Okay.
2 syllables. Now I just figured that out. Ooh! Earning my smart stripes.
There you go. All right. So
Back to laughter.
some guy named Kant figured out that laughter's good.
Yes. Well, it's good for you.
Okay.
And people that laugh more in life live longer.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because of a lot of stuff. Hold on. I need to
So
pull
as a
the
professional
notes.
comedian, I'm prolonging people's lives.
You are helping others in lives.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
I
Okay?
didn't help anybody in Long Beach the other night at that brewery show. That was rough.
Oh yeah, Friday night.
Did 30 minutes in just sidebar local shows. Let's focus on the lighting. I performed in what looked like an operating room. It was just so much fluorescent overhead lighting. It's always a little unnerving when the entire crowd is completely lit.
Well, brewery lighting's weird.
Breweries in general are weird. It wasn't even a brewery. This was a cidery. I don't know if I made that up. It was Cider Works. It was something Cider Works. No, I had a good time, but it was it did have a very kind of elementary school lunchroom vibe in there.
That's the worst. Now, why wouldn't you just dim the lights a little?
Great question. It's a
Did they
wonderful
know?
question that so many comedy show producers haven't quite answered. Anyway. But that goes in, I mean, that's kind of what we're talking about, laughter. Like, seriously, people, I think it's been proven, well, and I definitely can vouch for it from experience, but when the audience is too lit, they get a little self-conscious and they don't laugh as much. The performer needs to be lit, the audience needs to be in the dark.
Why do you think that is? Because I agree completely, and I don't know why.
I think people are a little more on edge when they're completely lit up, especially something like, you would think, a comedy show, that person's going to tell jokes and we're going to listen and laugh. You would think that would be, enough. But from my experience, when the crowd is too well lit, they clam up.
Well,
Or it could have been,
true.
I just sucked. That's
No.
always a possibility.
No, lighting is such a big deal. And I think it's in, Cider Works or whatever, the breweries I've been in, it's just, I guess it's cheaper since the ceilings are so high to have fluorescent lights. I don't know. Lighting is a big deal to me.
Yeah, lighting's important.
I love it, and it's fun. Okay, back to laughter.
So we can prolong our life by laughing more?
That's true, but you don't want to laugh too much, okay? Because then you could die.
Oh, yeah.
There are examples of death that happens from
no.
laughing too much. Now, should I read these?
I've made people, I think I almost made one guy throw up.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I love a good snort. I love getting some response that someone can't control. You know, when they laugh or snort so much that it's out of their hands.
That's true. Well, and your body, think about it. Your ribs, everything is contracting, right? So you're working out if it's an honest laugh. If it's a fake laugh, that doesn't do you any good. You can't fake yourself into laughing.
Yeah.
And laughing, there's a lot of examples I got of humor.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready?
Let me ask you before you get into that. What's the
Okay.
hardest you've ever laughed? Do you remember a joke, a movie, a friend where you just thought you were going to throw up or fart?
Yes, I do.
What one was that?
Okay, so I was at running camp, and I was watching a race. There was a girl named Amber from another school, and she was so skinny and stickly, and she just wasn't good at the running and or athletics. She was on another team. But one of the camp counselors was very sarcastic. And over the microphone, she was the last one, and she's in this canoe by herself just struggling. And he's like, and look at Amber coming in hot with her upper body strength. And you look at Amber, and she's just dying. And I think about that scene often. Like, that was a belly laugh that, like, hurt. I was hurting.
So the sarcasm got
Sarcasm got me. I love a sarcasm. What about you? What was the first belly laugh where you almost cried and died?
Well, not my first, but if I think about the hardest I've ever laughed, it's probably the Zach Galifianakis special, Live at the Purple Onion. And I'm a fan of Zach, but it wasn't his material so much. It was when, if people have seen this, they know what I'm talking about. He plays a character. He plays a character that is his twin brother, Seth Galifianakis. Oh, yeah. And a lot of times, and in this special, he did it where Zach himself will shave and then shoot those shots as Seth. So Seth is clean shaven, but he has a mustache. And he's just that, and because Zach is from the South, he's from North Carolina, so he can nail that like Southern effeminate guy voice.
Oh, I love that voice.
And they're interviewing Seth, and he's telling a story about Zach and ecstasy and stuff, and he asked him to disguise his voice. He's like, "Can you make my voice sound like a robot or monster voice?"
Yeah.
And then they do it, and then he tells this story. He's like, "Oh, I'll go into the basement, and Zach's in the basement, and I'm like, what's that, a chemistry set or something?" And he's like, "I'm making ecstasy," and I'm like, "What's ecstasy?" And he's like, "Ecstasy makes me a better dancer." Like, just, I thought I was going to shit my pants because it was so funny, like, with him disguising his voice, but he was still saying he was still speaking like Seth, even though his voice was
all
altered.
Modulated?
Yeah.
Would it be
I don't know how they do that, but the robot voice or the monster voice. But just when he goes, "Ecstasy makes me a better dancer."
Oh, my gosh.
But yeah, the first time I saw that, I was just, that stuck out as one of the hardest times I've ever laughed.
I think the hardest time I've laughed also is Patton Oswalt. I know the picture of the album, but it is hilarious when he talks about Sterling, Virginia, and he talks about how he grew up in like suburbs, nothing fun, and then he goes into all of his act outs in that.
Yeah.
I peed laughing.
What was the joke though? What was the premise of that bit? Do you remember?
No.
Just like how he said Sterling, Virginia.
Kinda.
Yeah. No, I know which bit you're talking about. I can't
forget
remember.
yes, but I laughed really hard, and I also laughed at Dane Cook. A specific joke on that one album that was real popular. I grew up in Corona, so I was around douchebags.
I understand.
And it was about like how when there's a car accident, everyone comes out and it's always cold. I loved that little act out of like being cold. I like act outs.
You like a good act out.
I like a good act out.
I understand.
So in the laughter is positive for not only our physical but our mental health. Okay. So laughter is based on the response to humor. So humor, as you know, is when you make people laugh. Now, this can be great for some, and it could be off-putting and horrid for others because you don't know what will make a human being laugh. So
True.
It's true. So there are different examples according to this scientist that used to be a salesman that I found on YouTube.
Oh, has he got jokes?
Okay, so he has humor that he explains. He explains how to be funny and what it does in the body. Yeah, Charlie gets pumped about it.
Isn't that very funny?
Okay. All right, so the biggest one in your brain, this is when we are better with our endorphins and everything gets all activated, is misdirection.
Yeah.
So misdirection,
I love a good misdirection.
This is the best way to get a laugh. This is the best way in your head, and it makes you, it just fills you with all those fun, happy, endorphins. There we go. I was about to say endorphin. That's a fun mythical place. Let's write a script about it. Anyway, so yeah, it gets into your head. It takes over your whole body because you are like, what the shit, Charlie?
Charlie, what are you doing, you psycho?
What the hell happened?
What's going on, bud?
What's going on?
That's not funny at all.
Well, you don't know, though, because Harvey could have been like being mean. He's mentally scary.
I'm going to squirt you.
That's it. Hey, we're gonna take over. Hey. Uh-oh. He's getting the squirt gun, everybody. So misdirection, you know this. Those are jokes where we're led down a certain path and then boom, out of nowhere, we don't know the punchline.
It's a great technique.
It's so good.
I try to use it. I'm not as great. I have some friends. Andy Sanford's great at misdirection. A lot of other like one-liner comics are great at misdirection. I've got one that I've been using recently.
What is it?
It's in the special when I'm talking about you, ironically.
Oh, right.
When I go, I'm talking about how it's going, being married, and I go, well, there's one issue, and I like to really set it up with, I'm not trying to be crass, but if I'm being honest, she's not very adventurous in the kitchen.
Yes.
You think I'm going to say in the bedroom.
That
And
gets
then,
so many laughs.
Yeah. Misdirection,
crushed.
it catches people off guard anytime. Like one of Andy's favorite jokes. He's talking about the national deficit or the debt or the deficit. He was talking about $17 trillion. $17 trillion. That's more money than I make in a year. You think he's going to say that's more money than, whole countries have or whatever, but it's more money than I make in a year. Yeah, no shit.
As a comic who's been doing this for a million years, I'm wondering, have you noticed with comics that do misdirection, what is the percentage of it hitting? Like if it's done well.
If it's done well, I mean,
it's pretty much a guaranteed laugh.
Like Jeselnik's a good example. Like obviously he's known for having darker stuff, but beyond that, like his darker stuff is also just filled with misdirection.
Yeah.
Where he's leading you down this path. You think you know what the punchline, boom, and then he goes the other way.
Yes.
So, yeah, one of my favorite misdirection jokes, I'll butcher it, but Dan Mintz used to have a joke about, and I'm not going to do his voice, he's got a unique voice, but he's just talking about kids today have it so good with pornography. When I was a kid, all we had was the lingerie section of the Sears catalog. But now with computers, you can log on and go directly to Sears.com. You think he's going to say like a porn site or something?
I love that.
It just, and like, not only does the misdirection work so well, but then the second step of like when you envision him logging on to Sears.com to look at some bras.
Yeah, the visual of it.
Yeah, that's so funny. But yeah, I love misdirection. Now, some comics overutilize it to where you like, I'm not going to name names, but there's some comics that are a little formulaic where maybe they use these certain devices too much to where, okay, even though I don't know what the punchline is, I know it's going to be something. Like if you just do too much misdirection, just the setup and the punch, like people, they may not know what punch is coming, but they know something's about to happen.
Right.
If you overuse it.
You don't want to, you don't want to overuse. Yeah. It's almost like a spice or something.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, exactly. And with any device, whether it be sarcasm or misdirection or shock value, you don't want to get in a position where it's just so formulaic where people are predicting. Like they may not, like I said, they may not know what punchline is coming, but they know that, okay, you're going to pull the rug out from under somehow.
Yeah.
So you want to, it's kind of like a pitcher too. Like you could have the best curveball, but you don't want to tip your pitches. You don't want to let the hitter know what's coming.
Right.
Sometimes hitters and base runners will steal the signals of the catcher and the pitcher and relay it to the hitter, meaning traditionally there was like a finger system where like a catcher would put down 1 for fastball, 2 for curveball, 3 for change, whatever. So if you know what's coming, it makes it so much easier.
Right.
So you don't, no matter how good your curveball is, if they know it's coming, it's going to lose its effectiveness. And I feel like the same way for any comedic device, whether it be misdirection or whatever.
Well, and I feel like they also gave an example that it's a similar feeling of magic, where you're like, that Pete Holmes joke about being a magician.
Magnets. It's magnets. Well, no, and that's part of stand-up, too, is the illusion that you're coming up with this material off the top of your head in the moment.
Yes.
Andy Kindler, whose whole act is kind of based around deconstructing comedy, but he used to have this great bit about, here's something else I've been saying for 20 years. Like the comics that oversell I'm just making this shit up,
Yeah.
But you're like, because you had the same epiphany last show. As if you were just coming up with this. And some comedy audiences don't realize that a lot of good material is scripted, is pre-planned. Like, because I guess that is part of the illusion that you're just going up there, riffing and winging it.
Right.
And but the trick is to do that, but to make it seem, the trick is to do your material, but make it seem as if, but you don't want to oversell it.
Right. Because then it's coming across fake. Yeah. And that's one of the things that this scientist/salesman said, which is when people believe you and their misdirection can be used in such a great way because then they're hooked. It's like you do one good one and it's like, okay, you bought that. I'm going to laugh at you, right? And same with laughter. So like you're saying, okay, we're going to do a misdirection, but then let's do another tactic such as storytelling in our next bit.
Yeah.
Where now I've earned the audience's attention and made them laugh, made them feel good, got them to have an alternative viewpoint. Okay, now we could go into storytelling, but that even has a misdirection because usually at the end it's what you learned or it's what is the turn. We always need that turn to get the actual laugh that's medically helpful, that boosts your immune system, that makes you see different points of view. It strengthens a community. When you go to a comedy show, you're all laughing at the same thing, and there's a synergy that hits, and that's why it feels so special. Like when we did your special, it was just... there was such a synergy in the room because everybody is hearing it for the first time and laughing together. Yeah. And there's something in the brain chemistry that makes you feel so much better. It is like working out. You are laughing so hard. Your gut is engaged. It's probably the first time you're breathing really well. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like working out in a workout class where you're like, I'm looking at this stranger next to me being like, I'm dead. That type of community building happens in physical form, basically. Does that make sense?
You made a good point, too, though, about hearing it for the first time, because that's the thing with comedy, and most comedians are so jealous of musicians for this reason. But comedy, a joke loses its effectiveness if you've already heard it. Because like we're talking about, the misdirection or the whatever, like a joke works best when you're hearing it for the first time. So with that principle, not that a comedian can't do a joke a second or third time. Like, for example, a lot of comics, and I try to do this, when you put out a special or an album or whatever, once your material is out in the zeitgeist, it's a good idea to try not to do those jokes anymore on a live show. Because if your fans are familiar with you and your material, they're like, oh, I liked your last special. But then if I keep doing those jokes, people are like, oh, that's funny, but I knew the punchline because I had heard it before. Where a musician, a band, whoever, you go to see the Rolling Stones, you want them to play the hits.
Right.
Or any band. You want to hear those songs.
Ace of Base.
Yeah, of course. So as a comic, I've always been jealous of musicians. Like, Rolling Stones are still playing Satisfaction, and they wrote it 55 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas, I put out one special, and that's a whole hour material. Theoretically, I can't do any more in my live show. So I don't
Do
know.
comics do the greatest hits? Would you ever do a show where you're like, okay, I'm taking all the bits from my albums, doing one show?
That's a good question. Brian Regan does that. Brian, what's up, Harvey? Brian Regan will do that at the end of his show. His encore, sometimes he'll come out and he'll take requests.
Oh, cool.
And
Okay.
people will just shout out, and they'll break into that bit,
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
and it could be fun for that reason because, someone like Regan who has so many great jokes that, yeah, even though we know it, I want to hear you do the spiderweb bit again or the bananas bit again or whatever. But, as a general rule, if someone's paying to come see you, they want to be surprised by all your jokes.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's why too, like every time I drive out to Palm Springs or the desert, you see these billboards of the casino circuit of like bands. Oh, it's Hall & Oates playing Morongo, whatever. Like, and a lot of them are like one-hit wonders. It's like, these idiots wrote one hit 40 years ago, and they're still getting paid to perform them.
Yeah.
Whereas, tonight if I go do a set and do something off the special that someone already seen, even though it's less than a year old, they're like,
Yeah.
already seen that, heard that. But yeah, that's the difference obviously between music and comedy. The whole point of comedy is being surprised by the punchline.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and it can cause, well, here's the thing. When you're at a hospital, right, they have humor therapy where it was funny. When my mom was in the hospital a lot, she just was over it. And old people are just over it. They're sick. They're tired. They're just don't. So a musical therapist came in and my mom was the hardest, most sarcastic. Like her heart was stone at this point. And she's the sweetest woman ever. But the musical lady comes in and my mom sees a tambourine and she just goes, nope. No. And just kept saying no. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Da da da. And then I ushered her out and I was like, listen, you bucket of sunshine, you got to change it up. And she laughed so hard because sarcasm was her laughter love language, but she liked subtlety. She thought you were hilarious as well. Like she just loves studying different things. And when a doctor makes a joke or when a musician makes a joke, you laugh because it's out of nowhere. You're like, wait, you're a doctor. Why are you being sarcastic or weird?
Yeah.
But it does take you out of the moment and it makes you, okay,
Catches
I'm
you off guard.
safer. Like good news and bad news, you have cancer, but at least you'll be skinny. I don't know. Like it's a different type, the measuring stick for laughter in these really serious situations. Does help. Whoa.
That's the other thing I'm jealous of musicians for, the between song banter for your average band. Like the jokes are like the bar is so low. Like some of the jokes, like it's the same thing with spoken word. Like Henry Rollins, old punk dude, iconic guy. He's for years been doing spoken word tours where he's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But because it's spoken word, the pressure's off. It's not like, dude, just do stand up. And I like Henry Rollins, but just do stand up.
Yeah.
But he'll go up there and ramble on for hours and then he'll get some laughs and some of it's funny, but it's because it's presented as spoken word. Any humor, any laugh, any joke is a bonus.
I see.
It's like, maybe you just try to do the actual thing you're trying to do and you'll find that it's a lot more challenging. But
I think, that also, I think, is storytelling shows in a way. Like, I love storytelling so much. But I've been spoiled because I've listened to you and Kyle, and you guys do it in such a hilarious way. So when you're watching, like, The Moth or whatever, which is great, and the stories are sometimes really heartbreaking and sometimes hilarious, you're right. The hilarious ones are like, oh, thank God I have a break from this like really depressing one I just heard.
Yeah.
And the stakes are lower because they're like, no, it's storytelling. I'm reading off a page. But yeah, you're right. It feels a little TED Talky.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 5 minutes left. There's pain relief in laughing. Your endorphins take over, and those apparently are natural pain killers. So for an hour, if you're laughing so hard at comedy, you are literally soothing yourself with medicine. from your body.
So
Isn't that?
laughter is a medicine.
It is a medicine.
I don't know if
I
it's
know.
the best medicine, but it's okay.
And it lights up 5 different areas of your brain if done correctly, which again, it just brings your brain vitamins in a way that it needs. Oh, yes. So there's laughter therapy, where an example given was a clown going into a hospital room.
Could laughter therapy just be attending a stand-up comedy show?
Yep, they have that too.
Okay.
They say to look up stand-ups that you like and enjoy
How about that?
if you're upset.
What a concept.
Yep. Oh, it says use humor to diffuse tense situations. Huh? It could be a powerful tool. When's the last tense situation that you used humor on and it crushed? Do you remember?
I mean, probably every time I'm on stage.
Interesting.
Yeah, the other night it was tense in that not many people were laughing, before I got, not throwing shade to the opening comics, but, there just wasn't, even though there was a lot of people there, it just wasn't like, I always have like an opening joke if the crowd's not great, where I just say, some of you look like you're here against your will.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like sometimes I'll do shows and it looks like people are there for court.
Yeah.
Or, or some court-ordered class. And it's just, I never understood that. Like, at a comedy show, especially the other night was unique in that it was a free show and just anybody could wander in. But, like, at a regular ticketed show, I don't know how many shows I've done where just out of the gate, just arms folded.
Yeah.
Just dead eyes. Like, what'd you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
What'd you sign up for? It's a comedy show.
Right.
Like, the crowd has to, you got to do a little something.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself in the right state of mind to receive these jokes and to receive this humor.
Yeah.
But every now and then there's just crowds that just look like they don't want to be here.
Yeah, and I just wonder, here's the thing too. There's different types of humor that this scientist guy was saying that you have to use very minimally, and it's teasing, sarcasm, puns. Those 3 people either really, really love or really, really hate. And you have to use it really sparingly.
I hate puns.
Because people are like, okay, I'm smarter than this with the puns. And then with sarcasm, they feel attacked.
Yeah.
So if people feel attacked, like you were saying with the lighting, that's going to affect you.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he's going to look at me and like make fun of me. Like, what if teasing can be fun. I think you taught me this if it's directed towards yourself.
Yes.
With stand-up.
Self-deprecation buys you a lot of points with an audience.
Yes.
It lets them know, oh, this guy doesn't take himself too seriously.
Right.
And if you make fun of yourself first, it gives you some grace to make fun of something else or someone else.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than a comic who takes themselves too seriously.
Oh.
Or just, there's comics in this town that are just joyless because they're more concerned with being a social, political figure than a comedian. They're more concerned with getting their political message or agenda across than being a comedian. And it's like, then go be an activist. Go be a politician.
Yeah, run for office.
But I've met so many, I could name so many that just like, who told you to do comedy? Because you seem completely joyless.
Yes, absolutely.
And then going back to the whole pun thing, there's comics too. There's one comic that I knew so well. But I really think he thought that stand-up comedy, the whole objective was just to try to create wordplay.
Do you have an example?
Just
or no?
Every joke was a pun.
Oh, wow.
Just every single joke was wordplay.
Like,
you tell some story about Joaquin Phoenix on the David Letterman show and something I guess you really can't walking and chew gum at the same time. Like, I remember that. I'm like, not only was that a pun, that was a stretch, brother. But just like every joke is wordplay. And it's like, who told you that that's the goal? Like, ugh. And the whole thing with comedy too, and like we could talk for hours about theories and principle, but like, to me, stand-up comedy, your jokes, your act, your humor, to me, a hack is somebody doing the same jokes that the funny guy at the barbecue, the office barbecue, or your somewhat funny uncle. Like, if any jackass walking down the street can make that same joke, then what are you doing it for, Mr. Comedian?
Yeah.
Like, your standards have to be higher than that
as
a performing comedian.
Yes.
Like, I'm sorry, Bill Engvall. ugh. He's just every jackass uncle at a family barbecue is making better jokes than him.
And if he said that, that would actually probably be funnier.
And one of his
than his
specials,
material.
he's got a bit about the difference between men and women. Oh my God. Me and my wife going out for dinner. I spend 5 minutes putting on my shirt, and she spends an hour. And what'd she say as soon as we get to the car? She said, "What'd she say?" She said, "You're not wearing that, are you?" Like, oh my God, dude, this is what you're bringing to the table?
Wow.
This is $50 a ticket to see someone make observations that any jackass at a family barbecue can make?
No.
Like, just, ugh.
It's pretty bad.
And comics talk a lot about what is hack. And to me, hack is just, like I said, if any jackass can come up with that observation or that switch or that wordplay, then it's hack, dude.
Yeah.
Like, not that I'm the most original comedian in the world. I'm pretty straightforward meat and potatoes with my style and my delivery, but like you have to have a standard of like, okay, this passes my test, this does not.
Yeah.
I won't bother doing this shit because 100 different comedians could have come up with that joke.
Yes.
But let me come up with something that's fairly unique and original. You know,
what's your
not-
point of view
yeah,
on
not
it?
ev- yeah.
What's
Exactly.
your specific take on this thing?
yeah, not that everything has to be super abstract or alty or whatever, but like just, and that's the beauty of stand-up is you can literally talk, in America, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And that's what you chose to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Well, and you're in control. The person that is humorous in a room with coworkers, with your friends, you have the floor. It's almost like I did therapy once at this yoga place, and it was like whoever has the talking stick gets to talk. And so it's almost in that way, there's a power to it, right? And if you are nervous, if you look like you're going to die, if you feel that, you get clammy, everyone in the room is going to feel that. And then that makes laughter fake because they're going to feel like they have to laugh or whatever. But when you are just confident, like you said on tour to me,
Confidence is so important.
and just having fun. And I think with laughter as well, like the overriding theme of this entire thing is looking at life in a different way, because a lot of people's brains are wired to look at it sad. Like I've been kind of wired to look at things sad. Well, why not use sarcasm to make it better? Or why not, it's just shifting gears into a different way. And that helps you live longer, which is crazy, but really cool. So I don't know. We ran out of time,
That's awesome.
but
oh, this is fun.
I love humor, misdirection, role playing.
Can we close it out with a street joke?
Absolutely, I want to hear.
Do you have a street joke? Because I have a bunch that I
Okay,
love.
I want you to do
All right,
yours.
this is one of my favorite. It's really I love stupid jokes. I always say off stage, I love well done dumb. Like that was dumb as shit, but that was pretty good.
Okay.
This is a really dumb street joke. All right, guy's sitting in his living room, reading the Sunday paper, minding his own business. Here's a knock at the door. He opens the door, looks around, no one's there. Then he looks down at the ground. There's a little snail, a little bitty snail,
Aw.
just looking up at him. His two stupid eyes. The guy's like, "What the fuck?" And he kicks the snail, and it goes flying across the front yard. He thought that was weird. Shuts the door, goes down, goes back, finishes his paper. A year later, almost to the day, a year later, another knock on the door. He goes and opens the door, looks around, there's no one there, looks down, there's that same snail. The snail's looking up at him. He goes, "What the fuck was that all about?"
Wonderful.
It's a solid street joke.
That is a solid street
Solid
joke.
street joke.
Oh man, snails don't talk.
The hell was that about, dude?
Oh man.
What else going on, Boo? Where can we find you on the Instagram?
KT Low Strandberg.
That's you.
K as in kangaroo, T as in tuberculosis. LOW Strandberg.
Oh, before the plugs, I forgot to mention, since we are talking about humor
Yeah.
and comedy,
Yeah.
little word of mouth this week. My old buddy Joe Zimmerman has got a new special coming out. It's out today. Actually, as you're hearing this, it probably came out, I don't know. What's today? Yeah, it came out a couple days ago. Put
Okay.
it that way. Joe Zimmerman, very funny dude. New special, Cult Classic. It's
Cult classic.
It's on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. Joe and I go way back. He was one of my cohorts in the Beards of Comedy.
Oh,
Years and years ago.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, a few of us used to tour around. This is before any of us were headliners, so we just bunch of 4 feature acts combined, and we combined forces and toured a little bit and did a bunch of shows for about 5 years. We did the Beards of Comedy, and yeah, Joe's very funny. He's doing well. I think he just got back from an Australian tour opening for Nate Bargatze. So, but Joe's a very funny dude. Joe Zimmerman. Cult classic on YouTube now, so check that out.
Oh, yay.
And we did your Instagram.
I also have
What do you got?
something to share.
Uh-huh.
My dearest, loveliest friend, Lou, who we love, Uncle Lou.
Uncle Lou.
He had an accident with his darling pug.
I heard.
It was heartbreaking. Calvin
Calvin the
is a
pug.
sweetie, but Calvin got excited and exited the car out of the window and got hit by a car.
Oh, no.
His little jaw, he's a pug, and it got basically, there was an accident. He has to have reconstructive surgery. There's a GoFundMe that I'm going to go ahead and plug on
Sure.
the Stonebergs Instagram.
Okay.
Because to share it, it's weird. I have to copy a link.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Calvin, he's a fighter. He's remarkable, but he has a fractured jaw, several broken teeth. The journey to healing is going to be hard. He's going to have to wear like a Hannibal mask.
Hannibal Lecter mask.
Yeah.
Aw.
And his favorite pastime is playing with a ball. So, and Lou is a social worker, one of the greatest humans I know. And, vet bills are expensive, and it'd be neat to help out a fellow angel.
There you go.
So, yeah, I'll post that on my Insta and the Stonebergs. So, GoFundMe for Calvin.
Get well soon, Calvin.
Get well soon. He's so sweet.
Hate that for old Calvin.
Me too.
Let's see. I'm going to be performing stand-up comedy, humor that you could receive and digest and in
And not
turn,
die.
Give me laughter in return. Yeah, try not to die. Let's see. What's today's date? The 25th?
It's a 20-something.
Yeah, Yom Kippur. How about that?
Oh, it's the day of repentance.
There we go.
Are you starving yourself? Oh,
Talking-
me either.
You talking to Aaron off mic?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry, Aaron.
Producer Aaron is Jewish. Do you partake in Yom Kippur?
Wish I did more.
Yeah, you wish you did more.
Yeah, it's a day of atonement, right? A day of repentance. Yeah, I love that
Mm-hmm.
because you got to think about all the crap you did, and then you got to go to the person and say sorry,
Yep.
or think of it and pray about it. I don't know. I don't know the whole thing, but I think I got the broad strokes.
Yeah, probably.
Nailed it?
I think
Cool,
you got. I
cool.
think that's all there is to it, really.
And Yom Kippur. That's it. There you go.
This Saturday, September 30th, I will be in Huntington Beach, California, at the Rec Room.
Ooh.
So stop by if you're in the SoCal area. See me there. What else? Friday, October 6th, I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan. October 7th, 2 shows in Cincinnati, Ohio. October 8th, I'm in Milwaukee at the Laughing Tap.
Mm-hmm.
November 16th, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina at Good Nights Comedy Club. November 17th and 18th, I return to Bristol, Tennessee to Blue Ridge Comedy Club. And then I don't have it in front of me, but I'm doing 2 random dates in Greenville, South Carolina.
Ooh.
One will be November 15th and one will be November 19th. So, yeah. And then I think I teased this last week in December. We should be announcing this pretty soon, but doing a group tour with myself, Billy Wayne Davis, Jeff Tate, and Ryan Singer.
It's going to be crazy.
So, yeah.
What a lineup.
Maybe Louisiana, maybe Texas, maybe New Mexico, maybe Colorado. Who knows? Who knows? Even though one of the shows is already on sale. December 15th, Manitou Springs, Colorado, at one of my favorite venues, Lulu's downstairs.
Oh, is that the one where you and Joshua Ray Walker hung out?
Get this. I played there twice. Last time I played there the day after Joshua Ray Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And I stayed and saw his show. Or no, I played the day after, so I went early and saw his show. And then the time before I played there, I was a day before Mike Cooley of the Drive-By Truckers.
Oh my gosh.
So,
back to back
Just
musical lovers.
2 of my favorite musicians I just happened to be sharing the marquee with over at Lulu's downstairs in Manitou Springs. But yeah, December 15th, the Goofball Tour, the Goofball Run. Myself, Billy Wayne Davis, Jeff Tate, and Ryan Singer talk about Talk about killers. All those guys.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
I don't know who's supposed to close out those
Who
shows.
is supposed to close?
I don't know. I hope it's not me. So
Huh.
we'll probably draw straws. But yeah, all those dates can be found at dumbdavestone.com. Also, my new special, Pack a Lunch, has been on YouTube for a few months, but also on vinyl. I've got a few more of these left. 2 LP, colored, translucent vinyl. Great artwork by Barry the Art Guy. But yeah, these are available at blondemedicine.com, or you can order directly from me. Just give me a shout.
Yes.
And I will instruct you on how to pay me for this LP.
Oh, it's so great.
So yeah, and I think that's about everything. Is that everything? Oh, Dave's Kitchen on Patreon. Patreon.com/Dave's Kitchen. This week I will probably be dropping the new video where I teach you how to make chicken and sausage gumbo.
Ooh,
so, yeah,
which was delicious.
Yeah, which knocked me off my my carnivore diet last week.
But we're back on. We're back on.
I'm back on, kind of. So I was doing so good, and then I
I
made a big batch of gumbo, and I was like, well, I'm not going to not eat this.
There's a lot of meat in it.
There's a lot of meat in it, but it's the flour. Too much flour.
Oh, good
That
Lord.
roux. But anyway, Dave's Kitchen, patreon.com/Dave's Kitchen. That new gumbo video should be up sometime this week. So check that out. If you're not already a patron, hop on board.
Yes, please. And thank you.
Learn to cook.
Well, Boo, it's been a delight.
Boo, it's always a delight. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing great.
I'll
work on my burping and farting.
Just
and,
keep that burping and farting in check.
Yeah, and then we'll get back on track.
We'll stay away from the mushroom gummies.
No more mushroom gummies.
You can't stop with a mushroom tie. You got to have the mushroom gummy. You got to coordinate.
Who's that from?
That's from the hit movie Boomerang.
Ooh.
With Jonathan Witherspoon, rest in peace, was a hilarious comedian who was also a great comedic actor. He's the father in Friday.
Oh,
but in Boomerang, he's got like this jacket with the lining of the mushrooms, and he's talking about how it matches the mushroom tie. You can't stop with a mushroom tie. You gotta coordinate.
I love him.
Yeah, so I don't know where that came from. Oh, mushrooms. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm easily distracted.
Me too. Same. Okay. I love you so much. Oh, you guys, thank you so much for listening.
Oh, yeah. By the way, thanks for sticking it out. Yeah. Tell a friend, spread the word, and we'll talk to you next week.
We love you. Bye.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Okay, thank you.